Are you feeling disruptive?
Hey everyone, we are back in the studio today chatting with one of my favorite leaders, I think, in this success space because she's doing it, I'd like to say, different, which is kind of apropos and a little cheesy. What would you say, LeeRon? How are you today?
Great. I will say I do it my way.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Okay. I like that. I like the enthusiasm and the confidence and the vibe. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I found LeeRon because of just the fact that you share some pretty cool content and ideas inside of everything that you do from a community standpoint with success, from a thought leadership space. But then I got to know you as a human, and I'm like, oh, I like her. She's a person I like now.
Feeling is mutual.
Well, thank you so much. So, you know, honestly, this show was really weird, right? It started because I had, like so many folks probably listen to this pod, a layoff that happened after my org brought a pretty significant amount of revenue in. But I got affectionately PE'd, as you can probably relate to. After that, it was like, hey, sit on the kitchen floor and cry and drink 3 bottles of wine or start talking to really smart people and sharing. 4 seasons later, you're here with us.
There
So
we go.
anyway, that's enough about me. Now tell us about you.
So my career in tech and SaaS started 20 years ago, not by accident. I like to call it my first midlife crisis.
Yeah.
I woke up one morning and I was like, I hate my job. I hate what I do. I hate who I am. I hate how everything happens. And I went in and spoke to my manager. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. How can we off ramp me? At the time, I was leading a large school district as a public school administrator. So this was not simple. It was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. This is not who I am. Never saw myself doing that when I grew up, and I want to grow up now and I don't want to do this anymore. And I was super lucky. A good friend of mine reached out on day 2 of unemployment when I was like, okay, I've rearranged every cabinet in my house by alphabetical order, color, size, and everything. Realized I have 0 hobbies. What do you do after that besides sitting on the floor and drinking 4 bottles of wine? And
True
he said,
story. True
hey,
story.
we are going to start a company. We're going to start a startup and we think you should join us. And I was like, cool, what's a startup?
Yeah.
And I went onto YouTube and it looked super cool. This is early 2000s. So startups were cool.
Like
And I
so
was like,
cool. Like,
I could do that. Like, I can do that. And we were just a bunch of educators who got together and were developing a platform and a software for children to learn math in a fun way. And I was like, that's exactly what I do. I can do that. I know. What do I know about software? Nothing. What do I know about YouTube, about startups? I've learned from YouTube. Everything that's on the internet I thought was real. And I just fell in love with it. And so for the past 19 years, almost 20 years, I've been in the world of early stage startups. I joined them typically pre-seed, maybe to a size B. And my specialty is building or reshaping sales and post-sales organization. I've been a seller. I've led sales. My heart is in the post and where you really get to build and create long-term value for customers. And so that's what I do. I found that that's my hobby, is building this in startups. And so I'm on my 6th one and still having fun.
yeah. Yeah. It's that builder. It's almost like the Legos, but not knowing exactly the plan for it kind of thing. It's this weird, amazing thing that some people have. See, this is another reason why I like you. I can relate to that.
And when someone asked me the other day, what do I do? And I said, I'm an architect. They're like, that's cool. I'm like, not the way you think. I architect teams and organization and processes in the world of technology. And they're like, oh, I thought you meant buildings. I'm like, I could, but no.
I mean, so it's interesting, right? Because like I think about like the way that the world used to think about the internet. And I think about the first little dial up that was plugged into the back in my mom and dad's basement, into the back of the little it was a Garfield, okay, dial up phone. And it would dial up and it go, and then, you could get online maybe 30 minutes later. Like we came from that. That really scared people. I remember the first time my mom got online. I'm going to bring it back around, LeeRon. Stay with me. Stay with me. She got on and she's like, Dannah, I'm going to get lost on the internet. She's like looking at the internet first time. And I said, you can always hit the home button. It's okay. You can always hit the home button. Relief goes on her face, she's fine. Now, fast forward all these years after that, telling my age a little bit. Now we're in AI world and everybody's sharing all the time about what to do and what not to do. Again, I'm always about sharing quality content, but I guess the question really like that's been on my mind is like, do you think some of that uneasiness and fear is kind of warranted? And like, what does that look like? I know, like for me, I kind of think the pluses of all of this and the productivity wins are more pro than con. But I'm curious because see, you see that up close, I feel like in a whole different
Yes.
way, right?
So I'll start with my minor in psychology says we have to acknowledge that those who are fearful, it's okay to have that emotion. Also, welcome to reality. It's happening. Whether you like it or not, it's here. You have a choice. You can be scared and sit in your corner, or you can learn about it, or you can learn how to use it and then use it to figure out what it does and where it helps you. So I've had the privilege of working in AI specific companies for the last 10 years. Yes, folks, it didn't happen 3 or 4 years ago. AI has been around longer than that. So for all of those, like, it's a new thing. It existed in 2017. But here we are. It's new to you. And so it's new to all of us. It's here and it's staying. And so we have to learn new things. And one of the things we have to get to be okay with is the world is changing. I think you and I chatted about it a little bit when we were talking back in the day when we had our resume and we were writing them. We at the bottom in skills would put Microsoft Suite. Like we had to prove that we had Excel certifications, that we learned how to use Outlook and that we knew how to send an email and that we could use Excel or Word. That was a job requirement. Today, if you put that in your resume, people will laugh.
They're going to be like,
But that
what?
was a skill set you had to learn because that was what the world was using. AI is a skill set that you have to learn because some people are putting their AI certificates on their resume now, but I will tell you, it already is too late. It is an expected framework for me. The baseline is for you to get a job with me and work with me is that not only do you know what AI is, but that you actually are using it every day in a way that makes you better.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. Just driving those
Now,
evolutions
I
in a good way.
personally
Yeah.
have embraced it.
Mhm.
Welcome.
Yeah.
And here's why I love it. I make probably hundreds of decisions all day, every day. Some of them are really important decisions, and I'd like to keep that to myself. But some of them should really be outsourced because
Yeah.
I don't want to make that decision. Or
Yeah.
it's a waste of time for me to make that decision. Or I can get more information. So why not use AI to help you do that?
That's such a good point. Yeah, why not, right? Because it's like, then you can actually have the capacity to do, like, the things and not be a completely exhausted pigeon from the not necessarily so important decisions.
Yeah. And so I use AI every day at work. I also use it in my personal life, from deciding what to wear today to what I'm
Mhm.
cooking for dinner tonight is done with the assistance of AI. Which section of my garden needs to be pruned or watered today also is done with the assistance of AI. Because why should I make that decision? I'm probably not the most qualified one. If I was to
Mm.
do that, the garden will die. So, not a critical decision for me not to make.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. Obviously, we talk a lot about, to wax a little bit of romanticism, we talk a lot about rebellion. Like, what do you think about positive rebellion in tech? Like you said, you do it your way, which I love, right? Because obviously that way has been a way that you've had to learn over your brain and your entity and your soul has been built over time, which I think I understood that you're doing with some agents now, but I'm not gonna spoil the audience here. I'm gonna say like, what's positive rebellion for you? Like, does it matter in tech or is it just buzz?
I think it absolutely matters. And maybe it's my personality. I'm the type of person who was the rebellion from a very young age, but also the annoying one who keeps asking you, but why? Yes, I am that 2.5-year-old. I was like, but why? Why do you do it that way? I really want to know why. Why do you have to have a QBR on day 90?
It's a good question.
Like, I really want to know why you're doing it. And the answer is usually like, someone said so, or I read it in a book 10 years ago, which is super cool. But the question is, should you be doing it today? And if the answer is yes, super cool. But should you be doing it the same way you did 10 years ago? Because the world is different. And
Yeah.
so if the answer to we should still be doing a QBR on day 90, good for you. I disagree. Move on. But if you are doing it, at least do it differently. If you're going to be doing it, are you really sitting there analyzing data and cropping screenshots and building a deck? Or are you using AI to do that work because that work is beneath you?
So
That
true.
that admin work is not your work. That's not what you were hired for. No one wanted you to be the secretary. They hired you for a different role. You've just found ways to make yourself useful by keeping yourself really busy. But busy doesn't really mean productive. And I would rather not be busy, but be super productive. So I have found ways to reduce my admin work that would take me, I think I calculated it, about, we'll go on the low end, about 5 hours a day of admin work, meeting prep, post meeting, during meeting, all the stuff that goes into internal or external meetings with about 5 hours a day of my amount of hours each day that you work. It was about half. That to me sounded insane. What if I could give that admin work to an AI and all I have to do is either trust it and hit send or edit it and reduce the 5 hours to maybe an hour? And when I did it the first time with it editing and I got back 4 hours in my day, I was like, what do
It's
you do with the extra time?
magic.
Unlike those are like, I'll get fired if I'm not busy. No, that's not it. And also, if all you do is admin work, you should quit because you're better than that. But if it gives you 4 extra hours to do things, what could you do with that extra time? What
Mhm.
amazing things could you build? What productivity can you make better? Because now you can. So I don't take notes in meetings. I don't write follow-up notes after meetings. I don't file tickets. I don't send emails. I don't prep decks. I have AI do all of that. It's
Mhm.
not that it's not done. When I asked why are we doing it, someone came up with a good reason of why we should. So I still do it. I just do it differently than I did 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. And like you're saying, when you're not focused on taking notes, you can actually have a conversation with a person.
If I'm not focused on everything that you're saying, taking a note and thinking about, wait, I have to file that ticket. Wait, that person's on vacation. Oh, how do I describe it? I have to do none of that. And also, I found that there's certain things that I'm not good at. For example, let's get on the couch, Dana, if you don't mind. When it comes to me writing technical specs for an engineering team on a bug, I'm probably not the right person to explain in their language. But if I ask an AI to take this snippet of a conversation with a customer and turn it into a spec for a technical person of explaining what the problem is and how they got there, and I can copy paste it, or it creates itself and it makes the work move better. So today I'm able to spend most of my day. If I showed you my calendar, I am in a back-to-back meetings when I start my morning for the first 5 hours of my day. Then I stop and I take a break. I go out and touch grass. I eat a meal. I come back and everything that needed to happen after those meetings had already happened.
And somehow
And
the
now
customer's happier.
I get things to do that actually bring value to myself, my team, our customers, the company.
Your customers, the company. It's like the productivity isn't spent in building decks and silly stuff. It's built in the outcome you build for that
The
you
job
orchestrate, right?
The job is not taking notes. The job is not the follow up. The job is not the deck. Your job was to architect a ecosystem or a pathway for a customer to get from point A to point B to C to D to their desired outcome. That is your job, to facilitate that. Everything else that you do around to get there, there's better ways to do it. And so we do that now.
I love that. I love that. Now, I love the fact, right, that quite frankly, a lot of the things that I see online, especially on LinkedIn, and again, I love LinkedIn, is very, "Hey, let's go jump on the AI bandwagon." But I think unfortunately that what doesn't necessarily come behind that so much, you're obviously one of the thought leaders that I see that shares not opposite of that in any way, but hey, let's be intelligent, let's be
Warning.
thoughtful. Yeah. Yeah. Let
Maybe don't jump on a speeding wagon
perhaps.
if it's not there. So
Correct.
I think one of the things is first, as I tell our daughters all the time, just because it's online does not mean it's real. Okay, let's remove the filters. As someone who has been using AI for 10 years, let me tell you about my failed attempts from this week.
Yes.
Okay, it's
Yes.
not that I failed in the beginning, now I know it all. No,
Right.
I fail every week by building something that flops on its head.
Yeah.
When you are going to implement AI into your team, organization, company, I think the first thing you need to understand is you should treat it as a coworker. It's a new employee. What should they know about you, your team, your company, your customers, who you sell to? Do you have that information?
Mm.
If not, you should probably go get it. If you're
Yeah.
in CS, you've probably created documents about it. Good. Make sure they're up to date and make sure the AI has that knowledge. Now,
Mm.
what process are you trying to make better? Note I said make better. The process kind of already needs to work okay. Because if you're going to put AI on a broken system, and this is my favorite analogy, you're going to get Roomba V1, where
Mm.
it hits the poo and it goes everywhere. So if you don't know where poo is in your company, AI is about to come in and show you. You'll find it splattered on the walls and your white carpet. If you don't know where that is, don't
Mm.
put AI on it because whatever you put into it, you will get more of. So you want to find the good stuff that works first. That's where you want to implement AI because it would amplify it. That's what it does. So find the good stuff and put AI on it. Don't put AI on broken processes.
Mm.
Warning. So when I post about AI, I post with like warning, things to think about, things to
Yeah.
consider, things that no
Yeah.
one tells you, like, here, use this prompt. I built this copy. Or like, say the word and I'll DM you what you need so I can get more followers. Please don't. It
Or
works
not.
for them maybe in their company, but you're taking someone else's stuff and putting it on your system. Warning. It should come with a warning labels. Stop and think first and then figure it out. Should you use AI? Absolutely. Are you already using AI? Absolutely. How are you using it is the question. And can you use it more and better in different places? That's the question you should be asking yourself. My goal, this is funny. I don't know if you remember, I think it was ChatGPT at the end of 2025 did like a Spotify end of the year recap for you for the conversations, things you were doing.
Yes. Yes. I remember.
Mine
Yeah.
had the last page was like, here's what you're going to do in 2026. And it said, will try to automate herself out of a job. I took that seriously. Every single day, I try to figure out how much more of my job can I automate so that I have thinking time, building time, creative time. And my goal is to automate everything that can be automated.
Well, yeah, because why not? Then you can, scale better. All the things that we like to say, all those things that people have been saying for years that do customer success. And I say that affectionately. We're two of those people,
Yeah.
right? Do you think okay, I've gotta say it, right? And I'm just gonna drag it out because we're not in filter land, so we can talk here, right? It's just you and me and these and the rebels, right? So like, I mean, what do you think that all this means for success? Like, we're optimizing a lot of yeah, I know. Oh, I know, and I also have read.
I will say, welcome to Liberation Day. I am here to give you freedom,
I know.
freedom and liberation. You get to do what the job actually is. Embrace it. If you find out, again, that everything you do all day has automation to it and you're no longer necessary, Go find something else. Congratulations. You were doing a job that should have been done by a machine. Hmm. Yeah. So I think it gives liberation. It gives you permission. It gives you space to actually do the work that matters. And there's critical work in customer success that we always have an excuse so we can't get to it. Well, I'm going to remove those excuses and put you exactly where you're supposed to be doing the things you're doing. And the great CSMs will rise to the top. And those who are great note takers will
Mhm.
have to exit the room stage
So
right.
true. It's true. They'll have to find
That was
something.
never the job.
No. Yeah.
So it's liberation, it's freedom. You get to do the stuff that you truly care about, that moves the needle, that shakes and bakes, and makes you and the customers happy and gets everyone to where they need to be by actually using your brain to help them get to where they need to go. If you are really, truly good at what you do, you know how to strategize with them to help them get more and how to grow and how to stay and how to implement whatever it is that you're selling them that they need more of. Machine can't do that. So be you.
Mhm. So there's this ability to actually be, like you said before, not a secretary, but then also just to be really violent. I hate to use the word violently, but authentically kind of just real.
Yes. And bring real value. The value is not in your email recap. The value is not in your notes or how many tickets you submitted or how beautiful your deck is. That is not your value. And if you need a reminder, call me. I'll tell you. That is not your value. It never was. Look at your resume. Look at what you've done in previous jobs. Anywhere in it does it say, I write very concise emails. If it does, we have a problem. I make beautiful decks. No, focus on what actually matters and what actually is the work.
It's it's amazing because like I pulled out because every once in a while I will. I'm not going to pull it out because I like to keep the logos hidden, right? But I actually have an old book of on paper that was written. And it's amazing to me how much of the job, when I went back and looked at how how we architected the job, orchestrated the job back then, how much of our model, to your point, was a secretary type of motion.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Time to take over. Be
Yeah,
liberated. Stop being a note taker. You're worth more than that. So welcome to the revolution where we don't do admin. We do success.
you can actually do success in
Actually do
success.
success.
So powerful. Well, I don't know how, but we have reached the end of our episode. Crazy. Freaking, that's the
Time
best
flies.
closeout. That's the best drop the mic, I think, ever in all 4 seasons. Tell us where to find more of you and all of the stuff that you write that I love.
You can find it on LinkedIn. I write. I write when I have things to say. I write what I think. I write what comes to my mind. And if you got to read it and you got to see it, then you're like, those two are the same. Yes, they are. You can find me there. If you have comments, questions, suggestions, I'm open to it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This has been an amazing conversation. And Rebels, you heard what LeeRon said. We can go and do what we've always supposed to kind of been doing the whole time. So if that's not a big moment, I don't know what it is. Until next time, let's do it big.
Go be you.
We can go do it big, do it different. We can be us. All right. Bye for now.